everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Talk of the Town. Steve Putnam here with you this week, and I'm happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here, because I know our first guest is happy to be here. So let's swing the camera around and introduce you to somebody that's been gracious enough to be on our show before. This is Miss Kim Duren, and she is the Executive Director of the Broad River Greenway right here in Cleveland County. So glad to have you.
Well, thank you. I always enjoy coming and chatting with you.
That's always a pleasure. Now, it's been a while, though.
It has been. It's been several months. Several months. I think it was the middle of last year when we were here last.
So we're going to have to amend your contract. Because
I am always happy to come back.
okay, all right, that's good then, because, I was thinking we're stretching this out too far. But now that you're here, you get to tell us all this wonderful stuff that's happening. But before you do, I know there might be a couple of people out there, I don't know who, somebody's been living under a rock, that doesn't know anything about the Broad River Greenway. So tell us a little bit about what it is and go for it.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they've been living under a rock, but they may be new to the area, so we'll give them a
That's
little.
true.
We'll give them a little grace.
We'll give them some grace on that
So
one.
the Greenway is a 1,500-acre natural preserve that has 15 miles of natural surface trails, 4 miles of river frontage. We have events throughout the year, and we are free. Let me say that one more time. We are free for Cleveland County residents. Your tax dollars help pay for the Greenway. It is county-owned jointly with the town of Bowling Springs. We do charge a day use fee for people out of county, and we do see 110,000 plus visitors every year. So a number of those are from out of county, and we want to make sure they're paying their share.
Right? So when folks come, is there something they need to do to make, to say, hey, I'm Cleveland County?
Somebody, hey, I'm local. I'm local. Yes, they need to stop by and see the ranger, or they can email me, and my email addresses will show up on the bottom of the screen at some point during this interview. You can email me and send me your mailing address that's in Cleveland County, and I will mail you passes for free, or you can stop by and see the ranger while you're there. And he will give you passes, really sweet passes with our logo on it as a resident.
There you go. And it's free.
It's free.
It's free. It's wonderful. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful trail.
It really is. We have some elevation trails. We circle around Jolly Mountain, so there's all the way up to the power line. If you remember that nice big hill on 150 heading towards Gaffney or coming from Gaffney into Bowling Springs, that's got some elevation to it. Well, our trails go all the way around that on that tract of land. So you can go from the river level to a little over 800 feet.
Wow. That's a pretty good climb.
That's a pretty good climb. And our trail race, which is coming up on March 29th, Heart and Soul.
Look at there.
It was originally scheduled for Heart Month in February, but we ended up with trail flooding again. We've had a horrible time the last few years with flooding out there. So we've had to reschedule it for March 29th. So registration is still open.
So talk to me a little bit, because I was sitting here thinking, because today, of course, the day that we're filming this, we had some blustery weather that came through. We've had a lot of blustery weather in the last year. I mean, because I know the hurricane really did a number on our street and the people and the trees. And I have an old growth tree neighborhood that I live in. We lost a lot of those trees and a lot of property, a lot of homes, a lot of cars. I can only imagine. I mean, what did things look like down there?
It was devastating for the park ranger and I to try and get through the trails. And it took us over a month to actually make it to the center of the property. And that was a month of us going out in different directions, coming from College Farm or coming from the ranger's office and trying to navigate any of our trails. The worst of the damage was at the very top and at the very bottom. Some of the area in the middle was a little more sheltered and did not get the winds quite as badly. But you can tell where the winds really came through. And we had whole sections of trees that the big tree fell and it just took out an entire swath. At one point, I think I counted 50 trees in one pile.
Oh my goodness.
It just was devastating for us. It took months and months and months. We're still trying to get all of it cleared out. All of our trails are open, but we're still having to clean up debris.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And I know the water has not been your friend a couple of times this year as well. But
I'm telling you, Mother Nature has just not been real nice to us the last few months. We had this past February when the trail race was originally supposed to take place. About 2.5 weeks before the trail race came through, we had what we didn't think was an extensive amount of rain, but it just was a deluge on our trails. And we had water standing in places we've never had water standing. So Cross fingers. But along that same line, because we have had so much damage, we were very fortunate to have received a grant, $125,000 grant for National Recreational Trails and State Recreational Trails grant. We just finished them. They just did the last run through on the refurbishment of 4 of our trails, 4 of the trails that had the most erosion on it. So if you were ever out on the trails and noticed all those really, like we had some 2 and 3 foot trenches that erosion had caused. Those have been repaired, and we're really excited. This trail race will be one of the first times that people have been invited back out onto those outer areas of the trails.
Oh, that's nice.
We're excited.
There's a silver lining.
There is a silver
There's a
lining.
silver lining. That's right. So now the race. Tell us a little bit about the race. 'Cause
The
you said
race
that's coming up.
it is on March 29th. Registration is still open. You can register day of. So if it's a pretty day that day, come on out, even if you haven't registered in advance. We have these lovely Heart and Soul t-shirts. It is a 10-mile and a 5K. So if you are in the shape of your life and you want to try a challenging race course, come out and see us for the 10-mile. I have been told it's a beast. The 5K, it's all flat. You run again across right next to the river and turn around and come back on the same trail. It's beautiful. It's not hard, and you will see some of the most wonderful scenery to be out running in.
That's my favorite part of the trail.
Yeah,
love
that
part.
takes you upstream.
It's nice and flat, but it's also beautiful.
It is
I mean,
beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
And part of that refurbishment that we just finished included some repair work on the river trail going up through there. So hopefully you won't have to get your feet muddy.
There you go. All right then. But I know that's not. I'm looking at this schedule of events over here. You guys really do have a lot going on down at the trail. I mean, you have a lot to offer anyway. Just coming out, relaxing, being by the river. But there are a lot of events that happen down there.
There are a lot. We try and have events throughout the year. We have 3 big ones. We call our big 3, and that is the Easter Bunny coming up in April, which will be April 13th, I believe, is Palm Sunday when we do the Easter Bunny, and we will hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 Easter eggs that day. We do something a little different than some places. We don't put candy in our eggs. We hide empty eggs. And as long as the candy holds out, we hide eggs. And I use that term very loosely. When I say hide, I mean we basically throw eggs on the side of the trail. But we also separate the ages out. If you're a young one, I think the ages is something like 4 and under. They're just on the playground, and there's no big kids to interfere with their fun. They're all the same size, and they're all the same skill level, and it works really well. And then the next age group, they come and they go down towards the fishing pier. But now if you're an older kid and you got some stamina and you need to burn off some of that sugar, we're going to make you go all the way to the fishing pier before you get started. So we try and make it fun for everybody. And by not putting candy in the eggs, we can go for as long as we need to go. And we don't have paper on the trail and litter.
There you go. All right, that's pretty cool. And that's going to happen Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday. All right.
April 13th, and it starts at 2 o'clock. Please don't be late. I'll be honest with you, it does not take long for 4,000 eggs to get picked up. So if you're thinking of coming, closer to the end, there may not. We try and hold back so that if somebody shows up late, they can still have some fun. But candy goes quick.
Need to be there on time.
Be there on time.
All right. So now I know you've got some work days, some cleanup days. Tell us a little bit about that in case somebody wants to participate.
Absolutely. We have a work day that we will just finish when this airs. The next one will be June 7th. And then we'll do another one on September 6th. We try and have one every quarter. And then in the later part of the year, we have our other 2 big events, which are Enchanted Forest, which is a partnership with Gardner Webb. And it is free. It is focused on nocturnal animals. And if you've not been, I don't care if you have kids or not, borrow some. It is truly a wonderful event. The Gardner Webb students dress up in costume of nocturnal animals, and they will talk to the kids. And they take them on a short guided hike. I use hike loosely. A short guided walk around 2 loops. But they'll encounter a bobcat and a black widow spider and a lunar moth. And they'll get to learn about those animals and why they're in that area and why open space like the Greenway is important. And then our last one is, we always round out the year with a fabulous visit from Santa.
Of course. Ho, ho, ho.
And ho, ho, ho. And truly, it is a remembrance of why we have the season. It's not commercial. We don't charge. Everything we do at Santa and most of our events is free unless it is a race or something that is a fundraiser for us. So when we serve hot chocolate, we serve cookies, you do a craft to take home. Weather permitting, we have a wonderful handbell choir from Poplar Springs Baptist Church that has been coming out and playing Christmas carols with the handbells every year for a number of years. That is, of course, weather dependent because of the bells.
Right.
So if they can be there, they've been there every year.
That is awesome. Now, I know that between then and now, you have one of the more fun things that people look forward to, and that's trying to keep the cardboard afloat. so, in our last minute, tell us a little bit about the cardboard regatta.
Wow. This is the third year we'll be doing the cardboard boat race. It is truly a sight to see. We are doing things a little differently this year, so if you've done it in the past and we're a little frustrated, we're going to give you a wooden paddle this year. In years past, you've had to make your paddle out of cardboard too. And that's where most people are having the trouble. But we're also going to offer a single kayak. You don't have to have a partner this year. You can register as two if you've got a partner, or if you want to do it solo, you can do it that way. So that is August 16th. We offer vendor space. If you're a vendor and want to come out and sell your local product, you can register to come out and sign up, and we'll set you up a spot. If you are a business that wants to sponsor a boat, we offer sponsorships. And I'm just going to throw a challenge out there to all of our EMS, first responders, and police. Guys, show us what you got. As a team, challenge your local PD and come out and show us just what you guys got to get across that river.
Oh, the gauntlet's been thrown down. That is a lot of fun, though. I can't wait to see, and I hope they take you up on your challenge.
I hope so.
hope
Like any of our businesses, Clearwater, all of you guys that you work so hard during the year and you have these wonderful skills, and I'd love to see you come out and show it off.
And show us what you got.
Exactly. Show me what you got, because it is a big river to cross.
Oh, I can imagine. This is a lot of, and not all of them make it, sadly, do they?
No, but we do offer a trophy for that as well. We offer a Titanic award.
A Titanic award
for the most spectacular sinking. And I have to tell you, in years past, there have been some people who have really done that justice. We had a French Armada call out to you guys, come back and see us. They actually saluted as the boat. They stood up and saluted as the boat went down.
The boat went down. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, somebody's going to sing Celine Dion this year. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I know you've given us a lot of information, and a lot of people may be going, "It's too much." How can they get this go back and look this information up?
Oh, well, you can always check on our website, broadrivergreenway.com. But the easiest and fastest way to know what's actually happening and if things are changing on the ground is to follow us on Facebook at Broad River Greenway.
There you go.
We have almost 7,000 followers so far.
Fabulous. Thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And thank you for being here for the first part of our show. But if you get up and leave and go to the refrigerator or run around your house, you got to come back, because there's more Talk of the Town right after this.
The only prediction I'd make is I'd be pretty willing to bet I won't be doing it in 20 more years.
My question is, where's our residual checks?
144 have taken Republican ballots, and Wes and two others have taken Libertarian ballots.
Pravda, however, PBS, however.
Wes.
Wes.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
everybody, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Steve Putnam still sitting right where you left me, but we've changed. I've got somebody over here that I've never had on the show before, and that's just like awesome. We love that, don't we? All right, so we're going to swing the camera around, and I get to introduce you to somebody new. So, if everybody now, here we go. Switch, there it is. Brittany Lee. She is the Children and Youth Minister at Zoar Baptist Church right here in Shelby, North Carolina. Glad to have you on our show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, if you didn't read the fine print of your contract, okay, it says down at the bottom in that tiny little print you can't read that once you sit in the red chair, you have to come back.
Oh, no, does it say that?
It has that.
Oh, is it too late to run?
No, it's too late.
Oh,
Yeah, because
all right.
we'll catch you, and we'll bring you back, and that won't count as the next time. So you might as well just settle in because
Just
you're hooked.
settle in. I'm here. I'm here.
Well, glad to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited
This
to
is
be here.
awesome. Now, I know since you're new on the show and people are looking at her going, now, what is she here for? Tell us what you're here for. First, tell us who you are and what you do. What's happening with Brittany?
Well, I'm Brittany, and I have been at Zoar for about 7 years, a little over 7 years. Sweet church, love the people there. They're precious. We've got a good children's ministry and youth ministry there, solid. So it's great. We're doing Wednesday night services, and we're having a good time over there. So,
Having
yeah.
a good time.
We're
So now
having a good
you've
time.
been there. You've been the youth and children's minister there. You said for 7 years.
Yes. for
How
the
did you get into that?
Well, I went back to school after I had my daughter and my son. Went back to school, got my master's, and thought, well, God's calling me into ministry. And so it's kind of funny because I told God, as I like to do sometimes, I told him I didn't want to drive any further than 30 minutes. And I live in Gastonia. And then he brought me to Zoar, which is 35 minutes. So that's just kind of the way he does things. He was like, I'll take you a little bit
Took
further
that,
than you
that
agreed.
5 minutes on there, didn't he?
He did. But it has been the best experience. We love Zoar. I started here when my kids were real little, and now they've grown up there. And so I have one in youth and one getting ready to go into youth group. And so yeah, it's been a fun ride. We're having a good time over there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so good. Now, and the church itself, I know Zoar Baptist Church has been there my whole life.
Oh,
I know
yes.
It's one of those churches that everybody knows that it's. I mean, tell us a little bit about just the church itself.
So the church has been there for years and years. They actually just in January opened a time capsule that they had buried 25 years ago, and so that was a big event for the church. And so yeah, so we have we have a pastor. I say he's kind of new. He's been there for about 2 years. He's great, and the people of the Zoar that you meet there, it's like everybody knows everybody. It's just you come in and you feel loved and welcome from the second you walk in the door.
And that's the way it ought to be.
It is. It absolutely
Now, see, I'm sitting here to
is.
myself thinking about this time capsule because 25 years ago, let me think, I was playing softball on Zoar's field 25 years ago.
I bet you were. Yes.
So I was like, okay, I wonder what's in that time capsule.
Oh, they had all kinds of stuff. They did a big old opening on New Year's Day. It was really cool.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I know, because I'm sitting there thinking, wow, am I really that old? But yes, I'm old enough to have time capsules opened within my lifetime.
It creeps up on you, doesn't it?
It does. It just and rolls right over you. It keeps on going. But yes, Zoar was a sweet church back then, and they still are now. So I'm so glad to hear that hasn't changed, and that things are going real well for the children and the youth, because that's really important, I think, for the health of a church.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So to have those youth there and those children there, it's a good, and they're a good little group of kids that they love doing stuff together and learning about Jesus. And that's what we're there for. So.
Well, that's awesome.
good.
Now, I know one of those things that you do with them, because I know you probably have to do special events all throughout the
Right.
year to sort of keep the interest up and keep them happy and keep them busy.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got one coming up that you want to tell us about, don't you?
I do. Yes, we have our annual flashlight Easter egg hunt coming up on April 18th.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I see it right there. They got the graphic up for it here.
Perfect.
All right, so this is going to be you got the magic word, hot dogs.
Oh, yes.
You got some
Yes.
seafood, and I go way back.
I mean, it's a staple. You got to have
That's
it.
it. So now tell us, this is Friday, April. It's like 2 days for us, the Friday before Easter, then, isn't it?
It
That's on
is,
Good
yes,
Friday.
it is,
All right,
yeah.
so tell us how this actually works.
So we started this, we've had an egg hunt for years, but about 4 years ago, we thought, let's switch it up a little bit and do something different. And so we started the flashlight Easter egg hunt. So it starts at 7 o'clock. And you come in, there'll be a bounce house. We'll have the Easter bunny that's there for free that you can take pictures with your kids. actually, a lot of adults get into that, taking pictures with the Easter Bunny too, which is really fun. They'll have a craft that they can do, and then obviously food. So the food starts at 7, and we have enough for 400 people. So we say once it's gone, it's gone. So we suggest that you get there on time and
So I got to
food
get there
first.
early if I want a hot dog.
That's right. You get there right at 7.
I
if
got to
you want a
get
hot
there right
dog.
at early.
Yes,
All
yes.
right, so first come, first serve on the hot dogs, and it starts at 7. Now I know that time of year it takes a while for it to get dark.
It
So
does.
so I guess it needs to be dark if you're going to hunt your eggs with a flashlight.
Absolutely, yes. So that's why we have a lot of things for you to do while you're waiting on it to get dark. Because sunset should be a little after 8. And so we'll start with our smallest group a little after 8 as soon as the sun sets. So yeah, and you won't be bored, that's for sure. Between the crafts and we have a couple of people in our church that can make balloon animals, so they'll be making balloon animals. And
Oh,
that
and I got some
line gets
pictures of it. It
long.
does. It looks like a really good time. Look at that.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
awesome. I know I'm going through the pictures here. I guess this is from last year's event that you had.
Yes, that is last year's.
Oh, that is awesome.
We had over 5,000 eggs last year, and we plan to have at least 5,000 more again this year too.
Wow. So this event has really exploded, hasn't it?
It has, yes. When we started 4 years ago with the flashlight part, we had about 50 people show up, which was a good bit. Then last year we had well over 400. So
Wow.
it was very, very popular.
So folks out there that are saying, well, I'd feel bad. I don't go to Zor Baptist Church. Maybe you want everybody, don't you?
We want everybody. Everybody's invited. We do 2 things a year for our community, like big events for our families in the community, and this is one of them. And so we want everybody. We want everybody to come and feel welcome and have a good time.
And like there's going to be something for the kids, really no matter what age, right?
Absolutely. So we say it starts from babies, the egg hunt babies up to 13, 14 is what we said this year, 14, yeah. So, but yeah, they'll have their own little separate groups. They all start at different times, and they just come out and we'll call it it's their time to come and do their egg hunt, and then they can look for prizes because obviously they have to have prizes in the
Well,
eggs.
of course.
It's not fun if you're hunting for just empty eggs.
That's
so
right.
you have to have something new. So they'll have all their prizes, and then we have a couple of prizes, grand prizes, that they can pick up a random egg on the field, and they might get a grand prize.
Now I know you said you mentioned a couple of things, a couple of events you do. What's the other event that you do in the year?
Oh, so the other event we do towards the end of summer, and it's our back to school bash. And so we do a big event for that. We have free food, and they have lots of rides out there that we bring in on our ball field. If you've ever been by Lafayette Street, or like you said, you played softball, you know that softball field's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big field.
So we fill it up with lots of stuff, usually at the beginning of August, and we'll do a big back to school bash. So between our Easter egg hunt and our back to school bash, we do those 2 events for the year.
That's awesome. Now, when you do those things, do your youth participate in them, or do they help run them?
Kind of a combination. We want them to participate and have a good time, but then they also they get out there and volunteer too, which is a good thing for them to do. So we kind of split it 50-50.
That's awesome, and that's what I sort of expected you to say. But I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if they do that because yeah, I could see some of the youth really wanting to give back and participate, and some just being young enough to say, I want to go hunt an egg.
Exactly, and they do that too.
So
Yeah, we will separate. We start stuffing eggs pretty early because if we have 5,000 eggs to stuff, we're going to start on those in the next 2 weeks. And our youth get involved in that, and they start helping stuff eggs, and then they will get out there and help hide the eggs. For the little ones, obviously, we can't let them hide their own eggs. That wouldn't be near as
not.
much fun.
Oh.
So, yeah.
But I was sitting there thinking, it takes a lot of preparation for an event like this because, like you said, you're already working on it. There's probably things you've been doing even before that to get ready for it. So,
Oh, absolutely.
and after this one's over, you start planning next year's.
I do.
I know.
yes,
See, that's
I
what people do. They don't realize
Yeah.
that people who do these things have to do that.
You do. Well, and then you get the discounts on the eggs and stuff at the end of the season, so I can buy eggs for next year.
That's right.
Because we get all of our eggs, all of our eggs are taken at the end of it most of the time. So we have to refill those for next year. So we start the second it's over.
The second it's over.
Planning
That's
for the
wild.
next one.
And this is what and this is what you've been gifted to do.
It is. And I love it.
And I
we
can
have
tell it's
so
just all
much
over you. You're
fun.
loving this.
Yes.
You're loving every minute of it.
We have so much fun with it. We do, yeah. The
That is
Easter Bunny is fun. I make my husband dress up as the Easter Bunny. Don't tell the kids.
I won't tell it.
Don't tell them. But yeah, we have a good time with it. We do. Yeah,
Well, and I
it's a lot
saw
of
the
fun.
setup. That's a nice set that you've got for the Easter Bunny there, and I can see that. You said people are taking photos. It's very photogenic. I know there it is. It's like really. That's a cool setup. I don't know
is.
how you come up with all of that, but that's pretty awesome.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we do. We have that set up, and then he will make his appearance out on the field sometimes when they're hunting for eggs, and the kids love that
I'm sure.
because then he pops up, and they're not expecting the Easter Bunny to be out there on the field. So
Oh no, never, never, never. But now now that's just so that we get this straight. That's going to happen. This is all going to take place Good Friday, but give us the date again.
April 18th.
April 18th.
Yes. Yeah.
And so if folks want to be a part of this, there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to sign up. They just show up.
They just show up. And I suggest you get there early. You get there right at 7 because we have decided this year, we had such an influx of people last year that we're going to have to shut the parking lot down once we get to capacity. So if it's something that you want to do, I suggest you plan to be there right at 7 so you can get parked and get in and be able to be there.
And get a hot dog and make a craft.
That's right. Make a craft, get a balloon animal, do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, if all this, if we've talked about a lot. We've talked about this and church events and different things that are happening there. If there are folks that are interested, not just in this, but in Zora or the youth group or the children's group or any part of what we've talked about, how could they get more information?
So we have a Facebook page. We have Zor Kids Facebook page, and there's also a Zor Church Facebook page. And then we have our church website that has all of this information on it. And they're welcome to look on there. It has my contact information and our pastor's contact information. So they can find out all that information online.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on our show today.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Well, good, because you got to come back.
I gotta come back.
So
That's only if you
it might as well
invite
be fun. But no, thank you for all that you do at Zor, and thank you for being on our show. And we look forward to you coming back, maybe near the end of the summer to promote your next event.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That would be awesome.
That would be great, yes.
All right.
All right.
That's wonderful. And it's also wonderful that you joined us today, because if you don't join us, we don't have a show. So we're really excited that you were watching us today. And we're also really excited about the things that you know about Cleveland County that are special and wonderful and unique and that we need to have on this show. They're called story ideas. So you can send those to us at info@c19.tv and let us know what you know so that we can get those people in these chairs. But until then, this is Steve Putnam signing off saying, have a great week.